All right, and we are live.
Hello.
What's going on, my buddy? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I'm excited we finally got the opportunity to put this on the books, dude. It's going to be a good one, I think.
Yeah, it'll be great. I think we've been talking about this for a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
And
good.
yeah, I know it's been kind of an interesting little journey, kind of picking back up, catching up, getting to know each other a little better
Yeah.
after grad school, right?
Yes.
Yes. Well, so why don't you take a second and just introduce yourself?
Sure. Hey everyone. So I am Raj Savalia. Me and Umar met back in grad school. I live in downtown Chicago in River North, kind of by the river for those that know. I work in the healthcare admin and like a kind of creative role, more creative role, and love to travel, beginning more into like fitness and voice acting and some other hobbies these last few years. So yeah, that's a quick brief intro.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think that you definitely downplayed that a little bit, man. I think that you do some great work,
Yeah.
in terms of your professional endeavors. I've listened to a couple of the podcasts that you've hosted, and you have a nice vast array of folks that you get in touch with, and you allow them to. I think you give them the platform to
Yep.
share their expertise, and it's a good learning opportunity for listeners.
It is, yeah. So I mean, for listeners, again, it's for my job, so it's not a personal endeavor, but we do have a lot of good folks on there. I interview a lot of folks that work in like healthcare, public health, advocacy. If you tune in to Health Talks on wherever you get your podcast, you'll hear an array of folks from different levels of government, different organizations. So if you're into healthcare or public health, maybe check it out. But yeah, we had like the lieutenant governor on a few weeks back to chat about the Illinois state budget. But we've also done some cool episodes around wellness.
Yeah.
So we've had like providers and therapists come on, and those are a bit more like if you're looking for wellness tips in the workspace, which I think everyone is, or your personal life. Check those out. It's called Wellness Essentials. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I think I listened to one it might have been with one lady or two ladies. I think you sent it to me about mental health.
Yeah. We had, I think, two ladies from from a health center in Illinois on. I have to say, I do like your podcast too, man. I was telling Umar before we hit record. I was listening to episode 104 about Punta Cana on the way here.
Oh boy.
No, it was good to get, like, I had gone down a few years ago with family, and it was a completely different experience. I was like, wow, these trips sound so, like, not so much more fun, but just so different, and I'm like, maybe go back at some point.
Yeah. I think like the idea of, so for example, right, like you can go to YouTube and get a wealth of information on how to learn things, right?
Yeah.
Learn how to learn how to podcast, learn how to work out, whatever it might be. You can get little tidbits of like direct information that way, right?
Yes.
But like, for me personally, if I had a purpose or whatever it might be, like I just like sharing like my travels for anyone who wants to listen. And that's a little secondary, I'd say, but it's more so for me.
Yeah.
Like this sounds super vain, but like I don't really listen to podcasts at all besides my own. Like,
Oh.
yeah. So like I like on a consistent basis. Like let's say you send me one, you're like, hey,
Right.
dude, listen to this. I'll listen to it, obviously, right?
Right.
But it's like when I'm on the treadmill or something like that, and I'm
Yeah.
just trying to get warm, or I don't want to listen to the music I have. I'll go like take a stroll down memory lane,
Very cool.
and it's not for any other reason besides like it just is euphoric to do that. You know what I mean? I just enjoy reliving memories, and because you realize right now things are fresh in your mind, right? Like you know things. But like for example, just like a small tidbit, right? Like when me and my buddies went to Seattle a few years ago, and the only reason that's top of mind because I just booked a trip with my wife to go there in April.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you got to make it out there, dude. It's beautiful out
on
there.
my list next to Portland.
Yeah, I got a bunch of itineraries for you if you ever are in places, man.
I will hit you up
Yep.
about that. So when's the trip again? Waiting for the
In
coffee to hit.
April, yeah, no, it's all good. April 18th. That's 17th, 18th
Okay.
weekend. So I have like a holiday, like a university holiday.
Oh, gotcha.
So like I don't have to be at work, right? Obviously that
Yeah.
day. So I was like, why not just like
Why not? Live your best Seattle life.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm assuming you've been before and you've been to the first Starbucks.
Yeah. It's dope.
Pike Market.
Has you written all over it, bro.
I definitely.
Like
get out there.
It's really cool. Because they have like, it's just so vibey in there. Unlike any Starbucks, even the Reserve here in Chicago, it's unlike that one. It's like so Seattle, it's like they have like a I don't know how to put it, like a manual like clock that like a wood panel like drops like every minute. You know what I mean?
Kind of like a cuckoo clock?
Something along those lines.
One of those old school German. Okay.
But it's huge.
Okay.
And it's just
Very
like,
cool.
it tells you the time in like so many different countries, right?
Oh, it's one of the, okay.
Super vibey.
Yeah.
They have all like the huge coffee machines there, like those big metal pots where they're moving the beans around.
Okay.
It's very manual, like, but modern.
Okay.
Which is like kind of like the aesthetic.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Like, kind of like a Starbucks Reserve.
Right.
But like the original Starbucks Reserve.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but anyway, on that note, so like, let's say I was listening to my Seattle podcast, right? So one item which was interesting was, so when we were at my place, we went on a guy's trip.
Yeah.
And so like the Uber picked us up, and it was this dude from Kazakhstan, right? Like where Borat's from, right?
Yeah.
So like the first and only person I've ever met from there, right? And he was a super nice guy. He was saying how like he's like, dude, I'm so surprised by the food here. Like everything in America is tacos. And I was like, that is kind of true. You know what I mean? I guess that makes sense. But anyway, it's like that type of moment, like you'll forget in like 5-10 years, right?
Yeah.
But like, because I like right after I come back from a trip, I'll just try to run it all down. So when I go back and listen to it, I'm like, whoa, dude, like I totally forgot about that moment. You know what I mean? And like, it makes me like smile. It makes me happy. And at baseline, I feel like that's like what it should be doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like for kind of like a talk show, but like a digital diary that others can listen to, which is really cool.
Yeah. And it opens the door for me to think more creatively about like how, like, you have recording equipment. I have video equipment. It just keeps me thinking creatively about other things that I could possibly do with it.
Yep.
And which I have done, which is fun. And at baseline, like it just keeps my skill sharp. It makes me look forward to something. I just find you need those little things in life. You know what I mean? From time to time.
With all those like little things and recording, do you like? I know you do audio stuff, but are you also looking to break into like video vlogging, your travels as like a video journal?
Yeah.
Like, look back on.
I definitely am. And so like if you see that camera over there, so I recently just purchased that. It's like the Fujifilm X106.
Okay.
It's a very like small but like vibey camera. Packs a lot of power. And it has like film grain on it, so it has that cinematic feel to it. So I bought that. I'm gonna start taking that on trips with me because my other camera, the one I use for professional photography, like the one that we did our photo shoot with, is like, not to be crass, it's like a fucking Mandingo, dude. It's so huge, dude.
It was a big ass camera.
Yeah.
Albert had come and it took up half the apartment.
yeah, right.
Hilarious.
I had to reserve a space for that. But so yeah, I was like, let me get something smaller.
Yeah.
I have a GoPro, right, which is even smaller, which could get some videos on it. Has some high quality videos. But for me, like I don't want taking video to take away from the experience and the euphoria I get from traveling, right? So it's about finding the right balance of recording memories, but being in the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially nowadays with just Instagram and everything. I'm constantly just sharing stories and stuff, and then you're kind of like out of the moment. And I'm like, wait, am I a millennial? Am I Gen Z? Am I alpha? I don't know. Like, I'm taking so many stories every second. Where am I? What am I?
Yeah,
What's
man.
going on?
But I appreciate the content that you put out, right? Like it seems like you're out having fun, enjoying, which is good, right? It's not something that I would consider like annoying or vain or like, oh shit. It's just like, yeah, he's out, he's having fun. You know what I mean? Not
yet, but once the fitness journey hits, Summer, we'll get to the annoying and vain stuff.
Well, tell me about that, dude. Tell me about that, because I know I think when we briefly met in grad school, you were how do Indian people say it? He was very happy. He was very healthy,
fat and buoyant.
Yeah. It hurts more when they say it.
Might not be the correct way to say it. That's kind of what I would say. He was just a fatty. But I was okay. So back in grad school, when me and Elmer first met, I was like 300 pounds or like close to there, and now I'm a little pudgy because of the holidays, but I'm still in the 170s.
You're in the 170s.
Yeah,
awesome,
so I'm
man. Let's get it.
Yeah. And so anyway, like from grad school till now, went through a few years of try-fail cycles for any like project managers out there trying not to work right now, but my little brain keeps going. So dropped a bunch of weight, and now I'm trying to get really lean. And really fit.
Part
of it's for health reasons, but part of it's also like I just want to like look great. You know, like both things could be true.
You know? And why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Right? Like I completely hear you, and I think it's first of all very commendable, you know, to take charge of your health, right?
Yeah.
And like, you know, just go on that journey and commit to that journey, right? And I think as you move through the years, right, like from what you're saying is like you continue to find different like micro journeys, right? Different obstacles, different difficulty, different challenges, you know what I mean? And like, you know, there's like an unsustainable level of fitness. There is definitely like on the good side and the bad side, right? And it's like kind of finding that middle ground, right? Like I always like to be like, I can, if like, you know, coming off of like the wedding, like my wedding where I was like razored in, I always like to be like, hey, I'm 2 weeks away from like being in that shape again, right? So I like to keep that, like if I'm not at that fitness level, then I need to look in the mirror and be like, what the fuck is wrong with me, right? But I like, that's like what in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I went hard for 2 weeks, I could be back in my wedding shape. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it,
right?
too.
But like, want to have fun.
Yeah, for sure. Like funny you bring up 2 weeks. I have currently on my whiteboard at home, so I have like a little countdown to help track fitness on my whiteboard. Like, you know, some of it's encouraging, some of it's like just get it together. But right now it's like 14 days until the next goal.
Yeah, there you go.
Whatever that goal is. It's been stuck at 14 days for a few days now because of the holidays, but it's still there.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, man.
Clock running in the background.
Dude, I mean, I think, you know, it's like you got to have fun during the holidays, especially during the holidays, right? And, you know, we work hard throughout the year, dude, in all facets, you know? And like, I think if you don't, I mean, this is just a personal opinion. If you don't take your foot off the gas a little bit, like I always find during the holidays, I regain my love for fitness because I'm not so like regimen. I'm like, go to the gym every day, but like turn the volume up on the intensity one day, turn it down one day, turn it up, right? Go do whatever comes to your mind, right? Be a free bird at the gym and like do that for 2 months. You know what I mean? So like yesterday I went to the gym and just walked at an incline for like 45 minutes, did a couple pull-ups, a few push-ups, you know what I mean? Stretched a little bit, went in the sauna, and I called it a day, you know? And I was like, all right, got some activity in. You know what I mean? And it's the holidays. Fuck it, bro. I just want to chill out.
Fuck it. You know? Like an active rest day.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot like you had mentioned. How did you start the elevated walking thing? Was it just something you found online, or is it something I don't know.
Yeah. So fortunately, I'm fortunate to have a couple of close friends that are also into fitness.
Okay.
So, you know, together we're all doing our own little research and tips and tricks, right? So we kind of have a shared, I do this voice message thing with them where we voice message throughout the day. Like if I'm on the treadmill, I'll just respond. If I have time, I'll respond. There's no pressure. But one of my buddies actually started doing that like a year or two ago. And he's like, dude, you know, there's days where I don't want to do an intense cardio session. I don't want to do a lift. I just want to kind of do some shit. And it was cold, right? Because if it was warm, I'd just go outside for a walk, you know? And he's like, dude, I walked at an incline at like 10 for like 30 minutes and I was like drenched. And I was like, I never even thought to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been, because you brought that up, I've been doing this elevated walking class lately, and I am soaked. You burn like 600-700 calories in an hour, which is nice. And then I had ChatGPT basically write up the class. So I went to the gym, and then I was like, I could do this, you know, whatever, as many times as I want. But there's also an elevator upstairs, or there's a elevator that goes to the gym in my building. So ChatGPT wrote out the intervals for me. And now, like the other day, I just did like a 45 to 60 minute class at home, and I was just drenched after, you know, and it was great. Like you go from like 8 to 10 to 12 to 15, you jump the speed down and up.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's awesome, dude. Yeah. I like that, dude, because ChatGPT is such a blessing, isn't it?
It is. I think it's making me a lot dumber, but it's helping in the short run.
You
know, I'm like,
yeah, you know, on that note, and anyway, I think that's like super commendable that like, cause you know, a lot of people won't even do that. They won't even just like type into ChatGPT, even the thing will give you the fucking answers. You know what I mean? It's like, they won't even ask the question. So it's like good that you like are using the technology. But like, you know, on that note, like I do a lot of research on like upcoming skills and stuff like that for work. And, it took me down a rabbit hole. Like, so it's like, if you think about like, even from the beginning of time, right? Like every time there was a new piece of technology, there was a skill shift, right? So like, like let's say when the knife was invented. So whatever people were doing before that, they stopped doing that. And it's like, okay, oh, maybe I'm losing that skill of what I used to do before a knife came around, but now I have a knife. You know what I mean? So like, I don't need to know that skill anymore, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, there's times where there's like rote tests that I know ChatGPT can handle, like basic data entry, basic like research. And that takes away like the fact that I would have to do that by myself.
Yes.
And now I can focus on things that a human can do, like deriving insights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Providing actionable items to move on.
For sure. ChatGPT could like do all the data and crunch the numbers and all that, and then you could add the creativity.
Yeah.
That's kind of
you know what I've been doing recently, which is kind of funny. So like, you know how when you get a message from like someone that is clearly ChatGPT'd, like it's like not their tone.
Yeah.
Like I've been doing that for people's birthday tests.
That's hilarious.
Just being like, LOL, dude. And then I'll come back.
Like, do you have an example? Curious.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see. This was hold on, let me pull this up. This is a funnier one. My cousin, she's into cooking.
Okay.
And so one of her friends sent her a text after she was after she made a meal.
Uh-huh.
And it was clearly ChatGPT. But the annoying part of this was that this person didn't come around and like remediate, right?
Oh,
they just were like, oh, this was my, so it's like, it was like, dear my cousin, we visited mom and dad yesterday and we were absolutely enchanted by the breathtaking Christmas tree you decorated.
Wow.
It is truly a masterpiece. Your talent shines so brightly. Every ornament was placed with such care and precision, creating a magical display. The decorations under the tree were so stunning. They looked almost too perfect to be real. You've truly captured the spirit of Christmas in the most beautiful way. Amazing work. We are so proud of you with love and admiration.
I'm sorry, amazing work. Too perfect to be real. Like, tone it down.
And that was from an Indian like uncle who
does not
speak
have
that
the
way.
app on their phone
Yeah.
just directly.
I was like, this is awesome.
Doesn't speak a word of English. Doesn't even know what it means. This is long and it sounds good.
Yeah. And it's the word enchanted was a little tough for me. Yeah.
That was. Well, how do you just respond ChatGPT to that, or like you just go on a
just eggplant it, dude. Just hit it with the eggplant and move on, dude. That's what I do.
We're trying to like not to go down a ChatGPT spiral, but one of my friends is also just very into a lot of different hobbies. Always finding something new to do, and one thing she has done recently is magic school. So like
that's
charity
cool.
Magic school. So like she has like a really like cool job where she's like, she was a teacher, now she works from home. But anyways, she started learning magic to go to hospitals and basically bring kids joy. But apparently it's like a lot more like, I don't want to say cutthroat, but it's kind of like Hogwarts, but not. So it's like you have to pass through different tests. You
gotta get the newts.
Yeah, you do. Or they kind of cut you or ask you not to come back.
Oh shit.
So basically, me, my friend, and her partner were walking on the Riverwalk one night a few months back, and she gets a text from her like magic partner. I'm just going to call her Annabelle.
Let's call her Annabelle.
But Annabelle got some bad news from the professor, from the
headmaster?
The headmaster from Dumbledore.
Damn.
Which was basically like, thanks for your effort, but we don't want you. Like in a much more polite way.
Yeah, there obviously.
You go. So basically, this girl was like, "What do I do? Like, do I message back? What blah blah blah?" And we were trying to console her, but we were just like bent over, kind of drunk, laughing, on the river. So we had ChatGPT come up with different responses, and they just got gradually meaner. Like ChatGPT was kind of a dick, and it was hilarious. It was like, maybe magic just isn't for you. Maybe you don't have the spark in your soul. It was just like, wow, ChatGPT.
Oh shit.
Anyways,
I didn't ask for this, dude.
No, it's Cernas.
Go existential on me, dude. Yeah, that's the funny part, man. And that's a funny little exercise, dude. That whole like magic magic endeavor is awesome, dude.
I know.
I will say I do go to a magic show like when I can, you know what I mean? If one is
cool.
available, because I think it's funny and like it's kind of cool, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I used Claude once. Like,
Okay.
you know, it's like another Gen AI platform. And I like put in this like trip that I was planning, right? And I was like, here's like my thoughts, you know? And he's like, it's like no positive feedback, just all like, this trip will utterly fail. It borders negligence. And I'm just like, dude, what the fuck, bro?
Man.
Like, so what, like, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning, my dude.
Who hurt you, Claude?
Yeah, right?
Who hurt you?
Get fucked, Claude. But yeah, anyway, man, that's interesting. But yeah, speaking of what do you call creative endeavors, I know you got a couple things in the chamber that you've been working on, man.
Yes.
Tell me about that, dude.
Yeah, a couple things queued up. Well, I'm trying voice acting right now.
Yeah.
So from the podcast and just a lot of feedback I got from like people and friends and listeners, everyone's always like, you got a great voice. Why don't you like try acting? And I've always wanted to do audiobooks or commercials or maybe even movies and stuff one day. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
You know, it'd be awesome. It's something I wanted to do when I was younger, and I just started the classes a few weeks back. So I'm on my third class. It is a lot harder than I thought it would be, but I'm doing my best to stick with it. Basically, it's a 10-week course. You go 3 hours in person a week to the Chicago Acting Studio. And yeah, our teacher is like, he's done commercials for McDonald's and other big brands. So basically, you walk in, there's a microphone in the middle of the room, like a mic stand, and the teacher like gives you some advice on voice acting. So like, it's following this book called Audition, which is for all actors. It's been out since the 50s. That's the structure of the whole school. Classes that are built off that. So you walk in, he hands you a script. This is like day one. You do intros. Then you get 10 minutes to, I guess, cold read the script in the hallway. So you get to practice for 10 minutes, right? And like, I've never acted or anything before. So I'm like, God. So I'm in the hallway just like reading this script for an insurance company from the 90s. Like, I guess commercials are where it's at money-wise. So that's what we're doing. Anyways, cold read it, come back inside. And then we all hop in front of the microphone one after the other, and we record it live. And then he plays it back, and he critiques you along the way while you're recording. And his advice to me was, you need to sound more earnest and human. And I was like, what do I do with that? Like, I was like, okay, great. So I finally like became a person again by the third week. You know, like more engaging, more enthusiastic. He's like, you just have to bring it. You got to let loose. But yeah, so it's going. Someone had like a mini breakdown during week 3, like, and she didn't come back for 2 hours, and then she did come back, and we all cheered her on. So it is uplifting. But yeah, nice. So that's how voice acting's going. We'll see. See if I get to narrate any audiobooks anytime soon, but.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think that's a very niched but cool endeavor. You know what I mean? Like, yes. I actually did when you were to start talking about it with me, right? I was like, I think I knew it was a thing, but I didn't really know like it was like a whole arena. You know what I mean? And that is so interesting that folks come together and do that. And I'll agree with folks that like, I think you have a good voice. Like, there's a lot of I don't know. It's, you know, what I like about some of these things like acting and voice acting and, you know, just sports, like somewhat like golf a little bit. It's like you have these adjectives, but it's like you have to make it come to life. Like, what does being earnest sound like, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does being sincere sound like? What does being insincere, not sincere sound like, right? And I think those types of things are, it's what I like about it. It's specific to you, specific to Raj. Like Raj's version of being earnest is probably gonna be different than mine. You know what I mean? And I think that is like, it's easy to just bring out your light. Not easy, but it's I think it's a little bit more in line to bring out your personality and to be like, hey, this is how I do it. And I also think it goes along the lines of what you already like to do. It seems like it goes with the grain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
You had some childhood dreams about this, right?
I did, yeah. When I was growing up, I had some far off dreams about acting and writing books. Like every few years, we would try to write. And then 2016 and 2019 was all like creative writing and forming writing groups in the city and like meeting with other folks who were kind of pursuing their dreams. And some of them it's been inspiring to see. Some of them have like published and they have New York Times best-selling books and whatnot. But like, I don't know, like I just, it kind of fizzled out for me. So I jumped to the next creative hobby, which was acting. So yeah, but have you ever done I know you have like the podcast and the travel, which is like really cool and creative and fantastic. Have you ever tried acting or anything like that?
When I was when I was growing up, like my parents were heavy in like getting us into the plays and everything in school. I was in like, I can't sing for shit, but I was in like chorus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I tried out in 6th grade for honors chorus with the Indian National Anthem. Didn't make it.
Do you have a video of that? Or
I wish,
oh,
man. Didn't make it. But anyway, so I was always like in kind of performing arts. Like and my parents invested in it. So like I played the viola and like, not even to like toot my own horn, but like my parents invested in it, private lessons. I was ranked and stayed and stuff like that. So I was always into performing arts, growing up. And in college, I was on like a Bhangra team. So I did that for a few years. I don't mind public speaking. You know what I mean? I never got the jitters that I think a lot of people get. So I was always comfortable in front of people. But that would be the extent of it. But I think in general, like, me and my friends, like, I have a specific group that my white friends, right? So I have like, they're my white friends. So like, we kind of have this like acting candor with each other. You know what I mean? Like we're a lot into comedy. You know how comedy is kind of acting, right? So I don't know, for better or for worse, like we always have like jokes prepared for each other. We try to deliver them well. We play a lot of games that require like acting. Like there's this one game we play that's kind of like Mafia. It's called Secret Hitler. Have you ever heard of it?
I've played Secret Hitler.
Yeah, that's a fucking awesome game.
It is.
So it's like you got to act, right?
Yes.
Like all those games.
You
like,
really have to act for that.
You have to, right? Because if you're a fascist or a liberal or if you're Hitler himself,
whatever side you're on, you gotta
convince.
You gotta convince.
And the way we kind of know if we've done a good job or not is like we have this one dude who's like just like an innocent soul, like just like a very trusting, like, and it's like if we really like upset him throughout the game, like if I'm like, dude, I'm a liberal, bro, like we're on the same team, we'll like get it, and then at the end of it, like he'll vote for me, I'll be like, I'm Hitler, bitch. And he gets like just like he gets like so hurt by it, I'll be like, I did a good acting job today, you know what I mean? Like,
that's the bar. He sounds kind of like Andy from Parks and Rec.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that seems like to be the vibe.
Just an aloof soul, man, just in his world.
But since you guys have all those jokes and whatnot going, have you ever considered like stand-up comedy or improv or anything?
You know what? I actually have gone to an open mic before. And I thought it was fun. It was cool. I got a few laughs, you know what I mean? And I just did it impromptu. I was going to a show at the Laugh Factory, and they just asked if anybody wants to come up. And I was like, fuck it, I'll go. I'll say a couple things, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I got a few laughs. It was enjoyable. Yeah. And like, I think it's one of those things where like, if I wanted to do it, if I really, really want to do it, I'd be like, I'll do it. I'll put the structure around it. I'll get the content going. I'd do it, But like for example, even like you said with this travel thing, like vlogging, like kind of like making it like my career, right? Mm-hmm. I find sometimes when I turn that energy on, like I'll lose love for it,
Yeah.
And like I like telling stories, man. I like making people laugh. Right. I like traveling, and I don't ever want to not like those things.
No, you don't want to stifle it.
Yeah, and like because I experienced that with my photography business, right? Like I love taking photos. I love capturing memories that way, like elegantly. But then as you get into client work, like I just did a wedding, man, and it was awesome, But like, oh my God, dude, just like dealing with like, first of all, brown people are in an upper echelon of annoyance sometimes.
They are.
And like dealing with like the bride and like the bullshit around that, dealing with like the disrespect of the bride's family and like just like all of that, right? People treat you like a slave almost. And I'm like, all right, dude, like take a breath. Like, otherwise it's like before you like pop off on somebody because like, it's like, dude, I have a job. You know what I mean? I I have to like be very, I don't want to say submissive, but I have to like get along at work, right?
Yeah.
And some of my creative endeavors, I want them to be like happiness for me, right?
Sure.
So like, yeah, I have considered it, and maybe it is in the cards, right?
Yeah.
But you know, for now, I'm just like enjoying like being like the guy that I am, like polishing my skills, speaking like, you know, articulately, and you know, like I said, making people laugh, like being someone who people like. So, you know, maybe one day, like I said, and if not, I'm enjoying things. You know what I mean?
Great. That's great. I just asked because I'm like I'm pursuing a lot of. I always talk to people that seem to have their hobbies and passions kind of in line for a few years, because I like tend to like I have a lot of creative pursuits and hobbies. Yeah, it's kind of how I am. But I don't have one that's really struck gold or like you know kind of hit yet. So I think this might be the year, or maybe it'll be 2025. I don't know. Well, it'll probably be 2025 because we only have 10 days left in the year, listeners. Anyways,
no, it's great, dude. I think that you know, if you really want it, right? If you really want it, like go all in on it, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like no one, and I don't think you'll ever regret that.
Which is funny because while I'm taking this voice acting class, you could hear the actual acting class through the wall. And then I'm like, maybe I'll try that instead. I don't know why. It just seems like acting might align more. So anyways, once this class is up, I'm going to try that one. But it should be cool. So like with the voice acting again, like we're going to the studio in 3 weeks for the first time. So right now, the setup for voice acting, I know podcast listeners, you can't really see into the podcast room, but right now, me and Umar sitting at a desk, microphones, you know, looking out a window. That's very similar to how the class is set up. So except you're standing, the microphone is elevated. There's a band stand for all the fellow band nerds out there. There's a music stand you put your script on. Anyways, we're going to the studio in a few weeks. Going to record some demos and go from there. So I think that'll be a good benchmark to see where some of us are at. Like there's people in that class that I've chatted with that I'm like, I'm going to hear you on TV for sure. Like they just killed it. Like these are former folks who were behind the scenes on Broadway. So like they would do like the wig production on Broadway shows, and then they're like, I want to be on stage now. And other folks who were in musicals or who do like video games and they want to be the voice of the video game now. Anyways, it's been a really cool experience so far. And yeah, kind of pumped to see where it goes.
Yeah.
I'll go all in, but
dude, 100%. And I think, you know, on that note, it's like, you'll know when something is like in line with you because you'll be thinking about it proactively, right? Like if there's something you like to do, it'll go beyond, it'll start with infatuation, but it'll go beyond that. Like you'll be like, I want to take a class on this. Yes. I want to go network with people who also do this, right?
100%.
And there'll be a higher purpose, like kind of around it. You know what I mean? And if that's the case, like you'll just notice that about your activities. You know what I'm saying? Like there's things like, you know, when I golf a lot these days, right? And like I got a putting green out there, you saw, right? Like I just think about it proactively, and like, or like traveling, like when like, you know, me and my white friends are trying to go on a trip in June. It's like, it's in June. I already put together like an itinerary suggested for the group. I'm like, yo, I've been thinking about it, right? So it's like to somebody else that might be work, like, oh fuck, like dude, I gotta put this itinerary together. But it's like, no, I just did it because I like to do it. You know, it was fun, you know, and like kind of living vicariously while I'm here planning it. Like, all right, dude, we're gonna go here and then go. You know what I'm trying to say? And like those types of things, like, you know, don't ignore those things. Like even if it's like you voice act for like a year, and you're like, oh, you know what? I'm not so sure about this anymore, you know, now that I'm in it. And then, but like, you'll probably have met a bunch of cool people who are in different walks, and you'll be like, maybe I'll try that out, you know?
100%. Oh, that's, with the golf, I'm just curious now. Do you do that while you travel too?
We just started picking up. So I just started playing golf this year.
Okay.
And I went like full obsession on it, right? So I would go like every single weekend, and like, I would find myself like watching YouTube videos, right? Like, you know, how, like things like that. And so like I think I got pretty good at it, for my first year. I can get down the course without like being too shitty, you know what I mean? Like that to me is like, good enough for someone in the first year. Yeah.
For sure. I am god awful at golf. I can mini golf. I'm just curious when people have like putting greens and they're just super into it. Like good on you.
Yeah, it's just something like it's how do I put it? It's also like a connector, right? So that's another thing.
Yeah, for networking.
Yeah, and I would say for networking, but also like just in general. Like, so I don't know if you're finding this. I won't say it's a ubiquitous like statement, but like my friends are having kids, right?
Yeah.
They have families, and it's hard often with people who don't have kids, just who are busy like myself, to just like get together, right? Like maybe I don't really drink that much these days. I can still do it. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like something that like I do other things, right?
Right. Yeah.
So like I will somehow find a way to link all my friends together on a Sunday morning for 4 hours of golf, and that works for us.
That's fantastic.
And so I'm like, in a lot of ways, I'm seeing my friends more so than I've ever seen them, and I love that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? Why not invest more into this?
Why not?
Because I'm getting a good feeling. I'm with my friends. I have my phone away for 4 hours, which never fucking happens. And like,
so relaxing.
I'm out on the course.
Disconnect.
It's artificial nature, right? It's like somebody mows the grass and it looks very nice when you're out on the course, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's like everything about the situation is good, Yeah. So then I'm like, all right, this is something I want to dive into. And so last year, me and my two buddies, we went to Galena, and they're a big golf city out there. So we did 2 days of golf out there. In January, in less than a month, we're going to Orlando for a golf trip. And then that trip I was telling you about in June. We're trying to go to Lake Geneva or Grand Rapids.
You should I've been to Lake Geneva. We stayed on the resort a few times.
Yeah.
Like I think it was like the former Playboy Mansion.
Sure.
That's a resort. Like I went with my family when I was younger, then for work a few times. They have a beautiful golf course. If you get a chance, like most of the staff is just out there golfing. A lot of folks were out golfing a lot of the time, and it looked gorgeous.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man. There's like, come golf with me once, dude. Like, and I know it'll probably like, a lot of people who I tell like they'll not be good. Yeah. But like, it's like if you can make it through.
I would be one of those people.
Yeah.
As we have established.
Yeah. If you can just not like lose it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like trigger yourself, like you'll see, like, because like you can play with me or some of my buddies, and we're okay. And you'll be like, oh man, like I played my first couple times with someone who was really good.
Yeah.
And he was so fucking demoralizing. But then like I started playing with folks who were kind of like a little bit better than me. And I was like, all right, like now I can kind of watch your form and like at least hit the ball well.
Yeah.
And then you feel like really good, like for
sure.
And like you just need one good shot when you're first starting off, and it'll bring you back. You know what I mean? And it's just fun, man. But like anyway, so a lot of things I do, like we were going back to the original statement, it's just like photography, traveling, reading. These are all things that allow me to connect with other individuals, and the ones I love a little bit deeper, right?
For sure, yeah.
So like that's why I pursue these things, and like whenever like they're like with photography, like so, when I was my buddy got me a camera back in 2020, and it was just like a little shitty camera, but like I was taking it out with me everywhere. Somebody asked me if I could take photos of them for their engagement, so I was like, oh. This was very wholesome for people that I like and I think are, or like people I maybe don't know super well who are like, I think are cute, like a nice couple. Yeah. It's like capturing their love is awesome. It's beautiful, Yeah. And so like I get to witness that, and I'm like, wow, this is great. And like, even for people's, like even my buddies will ask me to do like their daughter's first birthday or something like that. Now I have all these pictures and they have all these great memories that I took for them.
That you were part of.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to share in that experience.
Absolutely.
Wholesome and lovely.
And so I enjoyed those types of things. And I continue to just, at baseline, chase that feeling.
Yeah, for sure. Like as you had mentioned kind of a little bit earlier, you had mentioned like we're kind of at that age where everyone's having kids, and trying to bring people together like in a more wholesome way is difficult. And those things like golfing or working out or fitness or reading or whatever, maybe like a book club. I've been doing that more and more. Like I have a few friends, we go to workout classes, and like it's fantastic. Like because once you do those activities with people, you're kind of connected in a different way. Then like nothing absolutely nothing wrong with like going out and drinking. Like I still do that. Although I'm taking a little break, but you just get connected in a different way doing those activities.
Absolutely. I mean, like we were just talking about, like drinking is fun.
Yeah, it is.
It's a great time.
It is,
right?
Yeah.
I just find it to be like, I won't speak for you, but like, I like to be someone who gets a jump on the day.
Yeah.
Right? And so like, I want to get my workout in. I want to get some reading in. I want to get like, just like the momentum going for the day.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And drinking will like kind of put the e-brake on that. You'll like slow down on that.
Yeah.
The next day I might be feeling a little bit like, I can just let that slide. Right.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like if you're on the wavelength about it and you're like, tomorrow's going to be kind of like a recovery day and I'm going to chill out. But on a regular basis, it's a little tough for me to drink. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, no, like, I think it was just during the holidays, like 2 weeks ago, there were like 3 or 4 days in a row where like we were going out to dinner or holiday parties or the club or whatever. And then after that, I'm like, I'm not drinking till New Year's Eve because I want to work out tomorrow and I want to read a book in the morning. Like that's, whatever. Like you got to do what brings you joy.
100%. And I'll tell you, like, it's like there's almost no better feeling sometimes than drinking with the people that you love, right?
Yeah.
Or that you like. Because, it brings out a little bit of the emotion and you're like, man, there's like this euphoric like vibe in the air.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like I'm going to go get drinks with my buddy later on tonight after like my photo shoot. So I absolutely love it. Right. And I think it has its place as long as you understand that, right? It's like
100%.
It's like, a lot of times, if you just like, for me personally, this is my opinion. If you're just drinking because it's just something to do, it's like you got to think about that, right? Reevaluate. Just like, I smoke weed, consume cannabis a lot.
Yeah.
But if I were to just be like, this is like a staple of my day,
like this is my life now.
I got to reevaluate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, there's times where that happens, where it's like, all right, I've been doing this shit a lot, actually. I'll be like, dude, so calm down, right? And like, slow down a little bit because it's easy to get out of hand with it. Anything, right?
For sure.
So, I think like always being in control of that is important because if you're not, then, you're controlled by it. Right?
100%. Yeah. Like even back to like my whole like quote unquote fitness journey, it took me a whole year to realize, it's just about moderation. Like no, you don't need to be in the gym for hours a day and then you end up bouncing back or overeating or whatever. It's literally just about moderation. So everything, like, I don't know. I think everything's just a balance.
Yeah. You boil it down, right? You got to simplify. It's like if you eat well sometimes and work out sometimes, you'll be all right.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? That's like
100%.
And like that's about it. Like if you want to dive into the specifics and get down to the nitty gritty, like
I've
you
watched
and I
so many of those YouTube, like you had mentioned, you and your friends watch those YouTube videos and send voice memos. Me and my friends do something similar. So I watch so many YouTube vloggers and TikTokers, and just there's so much like data out there, which is great and it's good to know. But I'm like, okay, like how much am I gonna actually actualize, and how much, you know what I mean? But it's like I feel like it's still a better little hobby, like to do all that research and share all that info. Than
at least you're informed,
exactly,
right? And then you're not just making ignorant decisions based on like only your feelings, which is okay sometimes, right?
Although I'm still waiting for that 12-pack. We'll see when
let's
that
go.
happens. I'm just like, let's go. Like
we're Indian guys, man. It's in the cards for us, but it's gonna be a little bit tougher.
It'll be a challenge. Well, I like negotiated myself down from 12 last year. I was like, okay, like we're not gonna see 10 this year. Oh wait, not even 8, maybe 6. Okay, 2. Let's just go for 2 for 2025. You know?
Yeah. 1.5.
1.5, maybe 1. Is 1 considered anything? I don't know. But
you might have to go to the doctor if you just have one.
It's just like, oh god, what's happening?
No, yeah, man. I try to make sure that like all those different parts of like your midsection.
Yeah.
Like you can at least see those, right? It's not like just a blob. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like, do I have a little bit of an oblique? Do I have like kind of like this under pec thing going? Do I have like the shape of my abs still there? And then maybe I'm just telling myself those things, dude. Maybe I'm just like, oh, dude, it's there, bro. But
you're manifesting
exactly. But dude, going back to some of the voice acting stuff, dude. Do you want to go through a few samples of what you've been learning?
Maybe next time. I don't have the scripts with me.
You don't have the scripts.
Forgot.
All right. Let's see if let's see if I can do something. All right.
Okay.
So like, let's say the sentence is the cats and dogs are playing in the park, but it's raining outside.
Okay.
All right. So like, give me an example. Not, you don't have to say it. What are some different tones that like your teacher will tell you to speak in? And maybe I can try one out.
Sure. So one tone would be pretend you're a male between the ages of 25 and 35. Be friendly, open-minded, and generous with the sentence.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm a male between 25 and 35.
Yes.
I want to be friendly. You said friendly?
Friendly, open-minded, and generous.
And generous. All right. So the cats and dogs are playing in the park and it's raining outside. Okay. So, all right. Let's see if I can do this. Moment before. The cats and dogs are playing in the park and it's raining outside.
That was great. That was great. I think that sounded great.
Notes.
I think I'm trying to get in the
You're
headspace of my teacher, Norm,
yeah.
who's self-described a little bit like OCD and just hones in on things.
Tear me up, dude. Tear me up.
No, it's just the end. Like the whole sentence was like it was great. Like I was sold. I think the end, if you like, it's not called lifting.
Yeah, it was. I was like, it's raining outside. I did that at the end.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But you have to find a way to not lift, but also not drop at the end. Like,
Got
yeah.
It. All right. Okay, I can take that. Give me another prompt.
Another prompt. Okay. So have you heard of the chain Wawa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Wawa. Let's say this is like I don't remember the exact script because it was a page, but basically, welcome to like it would be something like welcome to Wawa. We're having a buy one get one free hoagie sale in southern New Jersey, whatever it may be. So just say like welcome to Wawa. We're having a $5 foot long sale. Come in and get your fresh sandwich today.
Okay.
Something like that.
All right. So welcome to Wawa. We're having a $5 foot long sale today.
Yep.
Come in and get your foot long. Okay. Let's just go. Okay. All right. This is awesome, dude. I'm just trying to think about how to phrase this. All right. So
but would this be try to be more energetic?
More energetic.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to Wawa. Today we have a special on our $5 footlongs. Come in and get your free sandwich today. I know that was
great. Like, no. I would totally come in for a sandwich.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I would totally come in for a sandwich.
Let's go.
Might have to get one after this.
Dude, this is fun, kind of, man. I kind of like doing that. That's like kind of
it
interesting.
Is. Yeah. You should check it out. I mean, you just do a few demos, go to backstage.com and
let's go.
Put them up, you know.
Backstage.com.
Backstage, it's like basically.
Sounds a little porny, dude. If you ask me.
It does sound a little porny. There's probably that on there somewhere.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's kind of like Hollywood's audition board.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you were in a college or a high school, like, back in the day, and you were doing plays like you did when you were younger.
Yeah.
And they would list the call sheet or the audition sign up times.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but digital.
Are there performative like moments like in this thing? Like, do you guys have like a annual like show or something like that, or like something like that?
Ooh, no. So we don't have an annual show, not that I know of. I know the next class though, we have to do animated voices.
Oh, nice.
So like we'll be working on basically we have to take an inanimate object from a comic book story or something. So it could be like Superman's cape, it could be Elphaba's wand from Wicked. Something that you've never heard before, but you have to bring it to life, write a script, and then perform it. So that'll be like the first performative exercise we do.
That's cool. I mean, if you guys ever have something where like people can attend, just let me know, bro. I'll come through. I'll
keep you posted.
Yeah, that'd be fun, man. I'm excited for that. You know, like I'm glad we got to chat about that. I definitely think that's a cool like activity to do. You know.
Thank you. Yeah, it was good chatting about it.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for coming out. I know we're a little short on time today, but you know, this doesn't have to be the only one we do, right?
Well, I'll be back.
Yeah, come through, man. But
I'm just gonna show up one day and be like, I'm ready.
Make me coffee,
recording.
dude.
Make me coffee. Where are we? Let's go. Talking about Wicked today for 2 hours. And
dude,
acting.
I've
seen it 3 times, by the way. So
the
far.
movie,
yeah, and the show twice.
I was supposed to go yesterday. I was
you
supposed
didn't
to
go,
dude. My wife had a little spill.
I get really angry with people.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We had the tickets, but like, you know, she took a little spill at the gym, so we had to kind of reroute that. Like, we were gonna go with her sister too, and just go see that because I love Wicked. We went and saw the Broadway show, like we were talking about, I think, and people are saying the movie's better.
It's so much better. I've seen if you like the Broadway show, I think the movie will blow you away.
Really?
I saw the Broadway show twice in my 20s.
I was enamored.
35 for reference. I'm old now, guys. But yeah, I was enamored by the live performance, but the movie was just next level. Like, the performances, every time Cynthia Erivo came on screen as Elphaba, she just hit you in the soul. Like, she didn't even have to say anything, just with a look.
Wow.
And then Ariana would come on and bring that kind of like mean girl but still kind energy, and you would laugh.
Okay, cool. I gotta go put that back on the books, man. I was very excited to go see that.
It was. I cannot wait to see it in 4D and the sing-along.
Let's
and
go.
honestly, like, you got to see it.
Absolutely, man. Well, I'm gonna go see that soon. And then we got a debrief on that thing.
We should actually. Yeah, I would be totally down to do a Wicked episode.
We'll run it down. After.
I'm totally down.
Let's make that a thing. We'll run it down after we go see the movie. Cool. All right, boss. Well, hey, thanks again for coming on, man. I appreciate you a lot.
Thanks for letting me come on.
Yeah, Rod Savalia, dude. Check him out. We'll link him in the description and everything like that. But he's destined for big things, man. So keep an eye on him.
Keep an eye on number 2. Keep tuning in and subscribing to this podcast, listeners.
My man. All right, brother. And we're out of here then.